Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, people. Welcome to Sharp Ends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got this very interesting, and I won't say little knife, I'll say full-size knife, VBR Mark IV. Very nice compound grind. It's got a lot of things that I really like. The color combinations with the carbon fiber and the hollow grind, and it's almost like a sponto blade, or it's almost a tanto blade, but it's not because there's actually belly to this blade, make it very intriguing. It's also a bolster lock, which I've actually never had before, which is strange because I got a lot of knives. But yeah, it's very nice. It just cost about $350, and it was made by, I believe, Reich, but don't sue me if I'm totally wrong. A very good OEM, and I just did disassembly, and maintenance video of this, and on the inside there is no milling. And then you've got T8 and T6s underneath the bolster here, but it was very easy to disassemble and put back together again. The machining on it was exquisite and fine, and it took me no effort to get it recentered. I basically just tightened down the pivot pretty much all the way, and I thought I'd have to back off of it, but it turned out to be the perfect amount of tension on it to have it perfectly centered. Um, this is, as far as size goes, I think it's 3.7 inches on the length of the cutting edge. So yeah, 3 3/4 almost, and then a total length of 8.5. So a full size knife. And just comparing that to other things, this is the rat number 2, so a definite big step up from that. And then where is my Spyderco? Oh, I'm carrying it today. Look at that. And then my Spyderco. So this is the paramilitary 2. So you can see that it's just a little bit larger than paramilitary 2 as far as that, but a little bit thinner in the hand there. The ergos on this are great. You have a nice big choke up point with a finger choil, and holding it back here is absolutely fine. There's a little bit of jimping here too. The weight on this, this is basically about this is basically about the weight of a PM2 without cut brass scales. It's not a light knife, but it's not gonna hold down your pants. Maybe if you're wearing jogging shorts, it might, but other than that, the handle is very nice. It's very contoured. I mean, the clip, and it's machined very nicely too. The machining on this all around is very good. There's no sharp edges on this, so the ergos on this make it very nice. And this clip, the profile is very nice. You only have that sticking up above your pocket, and yeah, it's just great. And the way that the machining is done on this bolster, I actually really appreciate now a bolster, this being my first one, because a frame lock in general, if you accidentally have your finger on the frame, it's going to change the detent on the scale on the lock if you have any kind of your finger on there. But this keeps it keeps it off that, so that you're never messing with the detent by accident. The detent on this I would call medium high, just very nicely done. And once it fires really nicely. Thumb stud is a little sharp here at the top, a little bit aggressive, but it's not going to hurt you. But I just noticed it. It almost feels like a hinderer, but not quite as aggressive as a hinderer. And as far as deploying with the thumb studs, it works perfectly. The geometry between the pivot and the thumb stud works really, really well. So there's no problem with deploying it that way either. I finish on the all around here with this carbon fiber is really nice, and the way that it's rounded, I like the way that it looks. It just looks like really nice carbon fiber rather than that cheap stuff. And the finish here, the tumble finish or whatever that is on the actual titanium is great. I'll also say that there is an overstop protection. You just don't see it, but there is an overstop protection, and it's right here behind this, and it's milled out inside of the bolster lock, so you don't actually see it, but it is there, which is a cool little feature. The bearings, it just runs really well on the bearings, and when you get it onto the ramp, it's the ceramic ball detent, it just drops shut from there very nicely. Just overall incredible action. The blade itself is very slicey. It's got this really nice hollow grind, sponto type thing going on here with a nice wedge up top. This isn't sharp at the top, but it looks sharp, just making the blade look really nice. And it goes through things so easily and fast. This is M390, which seems to be heat treated very well. I haven't had any problems with this at all. We live in a world and age where M390 almost sounds boring, and that just means that we are faced with a lot of first world problems when our knives come with M390, and we're kind of like, at least I am. What else do I want to say about this? So, yeah. So my thoughts on this knife is that for the price and the finish and everything you're getting with this is a superb knife. It screams knife. It's a cutting tool first and foremost, but also has a lot of a lot of style. I really appreciate the different kinds of grinds on this. You've got diagonal grind here. You've got the hollow grind here. You've got a flat grind going over here, and then you have a total of like 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds of grind and belt patterns on here, which all together make this just really high-end finish all the way around, and I really appreciate that. They did include a lanyard loop here at the back. I don't know why you would want a lanyard on a knife like this, but they did include one. It's just a pin that's hidden, and I really like that. And it's also functional because there's one pin here and one pin in the middle of the back spacer, and then 2 screws over here. And that keeps the knife very rigid. And then there's the backstop there. You can see you can't see a backstop in here, and that's because it's one of those backstops inside of a racetrack, inside of the blade stock itself. And I really appreciate that kind of overstop protection, where it's kind of hidden from you. And, as far as negatives on this, I can't really think of any negatives. This is the larger version. They have the shorter version right now on for sale, or maybe it's a pre-order. I'm not sure. It's 3.5 instead of 3.7. I like this version. I haven't had the shorter version. So if you have smaller hands than me, I have very large meat claws, then you might consider getting the larger one, or the smaller one. But, for most guys who are in the 6-foot range, I think that you're probably going to like this larger knife. All around, just absolutely great. And yeah, so that's what I have to say about it. My positives are that this is totally finished really, really nicely. High class knife. $350 is a lot of money, but it feels like a $500 knife. And this is nicer than this is nicer than a lot of knives that I have that are like really high end. The Chris Reeves knives out there, the Hinder knives that are out there, like this overall feels and carries like one of those knives, but better. So don't hang me, but that's what I think. This is just a phenomenal knife, and if you get a chance to get one, I think you should. If you want to go ahead and get one, I approve. That is my considered opinion. Thanks so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel if you also comment. And if you want to be entered to win a knife every month, all you got to do is become a Patreon supporter by clicking the link below in the description. And then for $3 a month, you'll be entered to win a free knife every month. Thanks so much, guys. And I hope you had a great time today. And I'll see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.